Everybody, and welcome. It's Tuesday morning. Here we are. It's August 12th, 2025, and the S&Ps, they were higher. They're dragging a little bit right now. This is actually not too far off of what I was talking about yesterday. I think it was kind of telegraphed that we were going to have this bid to the upside following a would you call it a cooling CPI? I'm not sure everybody necessarily saw the CPI, but that's okay. Coming into this morning's trade, we're doing over 200,000 contracts. It's a miracle. We're actually trading a little bit of size. We're trading some size, but bond market right now, absolutely rocking. 170,000 contracts. Look, there's days, I tell you, that barely see 170,000 contracts. That's how big the bond volume happens to be. And the bonds have actually turned around a little bit, some sell side activity in here, which is it's interesting because when the bonds go down, rates go where? Higher. So the Fed cut is priced in, except the rates are going higher, which is a little bit of a catch-22. We'll talk about that after the cash open. The other thing is, as Tim just said in the chat room, 2.7%. That's cooling. That's yeah. It's not exactly spellbinding out there, I'll tell you. All right, so coming into this cash open, what has the bid under the marketplace? First of all, let's talk about the financials for a second. There is a fairly strong bid under the financials to the tune of what? A whopping 20 cents. Yeah, it's it. That's all they could possibly muster. So you're up here pretty much in line with the S&Ps. I jumped to the energy sector. The energy sector, what's going on in there? Absolutely nothing. So where's the movers on the day? Yeah, it's the usual suspects. Microsoft has a little bit under it. There's not much going on inside of Amazon. Nothing going on inside of Google. Okay, minor bid inside of Meta. Here we actually have NVIDIA. There's nothing going on inside of NVIDIA. By the way, you getting the theme over here? Tesla with a big bid as we come into the cash open. Okay, be a little careful in this cash open. Things are going to get dicey. Things are going to get dicey in a hurry. So the advanced decline line, okay, appears stellar, it appears correlated. Just take a look. And I said things are going to get a little dicey here into the cash open at the NASDAQ, right? The bid under the marketplace right now is, it's absolutely there. Okay. And again, Meta coming out even stronger than anticipated. The bid under the marketplace is absolutely there, but you will get some two-sided trade today. And the reason I'm saying you're going to get some two-sided trade, first of all, you've already seen some two-sided trade. Let's go cruise over, look at ticks for a second here too. Ticks are positive 1,000. All right. So strong, really strong open this morning. Why are you going to get some two-sided trade? Number one thing that you should know off the top of your head coming into this morning, the expected move for the day is 50 bucks. You're not even but like halfway home. Now you did rally up all the way, okay, to 64.42, and then we faded off that. So we're 20 handles right now off the highs. You're already getting, okay, some two-sided trade. This, in my opinion, okay, I know people are like, well, let's do this. You're a minute into the day, okay? There's not, in my opinion, there's no setup for a long or short right now. We'll kind of take it as it comes. But you are going to get some two-sided trade throughout the course of the day. There's going to be, a little bit of rumbling of volatility, if you will, in the tape. The financials are up 0.4%. As I was saying, the energy sector is massively unchanged. So right now, it's the world according to tech, and it continues to be the world according to tech. Meta has a bid under it and is kind of almost single-handedly, holding this marketplace up. You do have Apple, okay, which is good for like 1% right now. That too is contributing, okay, factor obviously to the NASDAQ strength. But mind you, take a look right now at S&Ps and NASDAQ, right? They're 0.3%. To me, after a CPI number, this might as well have been unchanged. I'm actually quite surprised. Okay, I kind of thought to myself, the cooler CPI, again, I don't know how cool 2.7% is. 2.7 still sucks, but I kind of thought to myself, even if CPI is even slightly cooler, I would have anticipated the S&Ps up 50 bucks, okay, to go right to the expected move, and that to me is a little bit baffling this morning. Okay. Normally I'd come in here and be like, all right, we've reversed a little bit. Okay. Yeah, we've reversed a little bit, but it leaves a lot to the imagination in here in terms of that reversal. You might still get a decent sized move to the upside over here. Again, I am rather disappointed that we have not moved 50 bucks. I'd be much more apt to want to jump in here on the short side if we already hit the upper edge of the expected move, which evidently we have not. The financials are on the leading edge of things. So, by the way, the reason I keep bringing up the financials, just day in and day out, right in the cash open, okay, we've seen a lot of like attempts to kind of rotate to the financials, okay, and capital coming, maybe from tech towards financials and vice versa. So whenever I see the financials are strong, I realize the advanced decline line is screaming strong. When I see the financials a little stronger, kind of it's a little cautionary inside of some of the big tech stocks. Speaking of the big tech stocks, look at Meta in the first couple of seconds trade here. All right. Buying calls, I guess, but this is like nominal size. Look at this. We have call buying to the tune of 7,000 contracts. And mind you, and by the way, there's the S&Ps moving higher. Mind you, 7,000 contracts. I don't care if it's the first 4 minutes of trade. It's freaking Meta. The point that I'm making here, okay, that small order flow is moving the entire marketplace, right? Like think about the power of some of these trading firms. Look at this. We're up to 9,000 calls. We are buying calls, okay, and it was just 7,000. Now it's 10,000, okay. And what happened? Okay, Meta has literally doubled its gain in the day. It was just up 10 bucks. Now it's up 20 bucks. Okay, this thing is absolutely on a tear. That is the market right now. You want to sit here and look at Apple. You can look at Apple all you want. Apple, okay, doesn't have that wild activity. Where there's just nothing but call buying. There is definitely call buying activity in Apple this morning, but nothing to the likes of what you're seeing right here inside of Meta. Out of the gate, Meta is your market today, and it's been like this. And by the way, this is exactly what I was saying is, look for that pullback, but you have to kind of, check that box, if you will, to the upside. And that's why I'm saying like, all right, so sit tight. By the way, look at the financials. They're ripping, okay? Absolutely ripping out of the gate this morning too. I'm still, okay, in the position to say, yeah, we're going to have some two-sided trade today, but we're going to kind of have to let that unfold as the day progresses. So already seeing again some two-sided trade. S&Ps are just all over the place this morning. Also rather notable, there is some big boy contract size being traded in the S&Ps, and you are basically a full-blown correlation inside of the S&P 100. And that is unusual because we haven't seen really anywhere near this, okay, in quite some time. We've seen a lot of rotations and so forth. That is absolutely stellar. Once you start getting 85, 87, 90 products on one side, okay, it's not necessarily a sign of being bullish or bearish. Don't misinterpret what I'm looking at here. What I'm looking at here in the advanced decline line is, again, because this is like largely just misunderstood. This is S&P 100 that I like to look at. There are 88 products on one side of the marketplace. And you're like, oh, that's bullish, that's bullish. Again, to me, it's not about being bullish or bearish. Here, it means that the marketplace is going to move as a unit. It means that if the S&Ps, for instance, are to back off, everything is going to move as a unit. Speaking of as a unit, strangely enough, one of the odd stocks out today happens to be none other than NVIDIA, and it looks heavy right now, meaning I think it's going to have some more sell side activity, and this could actually dampen a little bit of the spirits. Like if it's down like $2-3, it's going to have limitations to where the NASDAQ can even go in the day, regardless of what Meta does, because we all have to understand that it's hard sometimes to keep up on this stuff, but Nvidia is by far the biggest monkey on the block at 4.4 trillion. Just bring in the scope here. Apple is only 3.4 trillion. Microsoft is about 3.9 trillion. So, and yes, that's trillion with a T. We've just like, it really kind of does bother me because, I can remember a time when the entire market cap of the S&P, okay, was like $8 trillion. And now that's two stocks. That's two stocks. All right, onward and upward. So I'm sitting here if there's going to be an intraday opportunity, I think you have to kind of check the box, and the S&Ps have to be up 50. Painful as that may be, I think that's what's going to be a necessity, if you will. Okay, in here. So by the way, there goes my hopes and dreams in Nvidia. That thing just caught fire. Look at that. Okay, literally caught it at the bottom. Okay, Nvidia, if this thing heads back up, like those S&Ps will be up 50 in no time. But right now, the day belongs to Meta. Okay, it's all call buying activity, and it's just getting more and more fierce in here. For those of you that are a little bit newer, if you've never seen me really explain what I'm looking at here, okay, so in the trade analysis, obviously you've got calls, okay, and you've got puts. Now, yes, you can see the total volume traded, but I'm less inclined to look at that. What I'm really looking at is what we term traded at the ask or above, okay, and or traded at the bid below. Now I can see how many traded between the market. I got that. But when you're trading at the ask or above, the order flow is clearly and decisively, okay, on the buy side. How do you know that? You know that because if the market is $3 at 310, traded at the ask or above, the ask is the 310, right? Yeah, every market has a bid and an offer. So the offer, by the way, the word offer is interchangeable with ask. But when you say trade at the ask or above, okay, and you see that 17,000 have actually traded there, that's a pretty ridiculously large number. So lo and behold, okay, we know that 17,000 have traded the ask or above, which is people buying calls. They're just buying calls, and buying calls forces the market maker to sell you the calls, and then the market maker turns around and buys stock. So it is, again, it's all about, though, the options activity inside of Meta. The really interesting component of this discussion is that there's only 2.3 million shares trading of Meta. And you're like, but it's an $800 stock. And I get it. And that's a lot of liquidity. Okay. But it's all about the call volume in here. By the way, this thing sometimes stalls out. Doesn't look like it's even updating. Come on, breathe, man. Breathe, work. Man, it doesn't look like it's updating. All right. So cash open. Okay. Markets actually ripped right back to highs. Look for S&Ps to be up, okay, in and around $50. Okay. Why should it be $50? Because that's what the market says. This is where trust in the market. Don't sit there and I literally said that out of the cash open. I'm inclined to take an intraday position, but I won't be taking an intraday position, okay, until we actually kind of check certain boxes. And you literally have to trade to 64.50, which we're getting up there, people. 64.50, you're only hop, skip, and a jump away from the highs. Okay, speaking of highs, let's cruise over to the SPX for just a moment. Okay, he goes to the SPX. Where are we right now on the week? It's like, look, I know that the S&Ps, I'm well aware that the S&Ps are up, some 40 handles over here, right? They're up 40, but, slow down there, cowboy. This is where we started the week. Okay, a little bit lower yesterday, a little bit lower yesterday, a little bit higher today, a little bit higher. You're on basically a $90 expected move for the entire week. Right now, the week started at 63.90, and where are you? You're 25 handles higher on the week right now. Okay, so yes, it's a rally in here. Okay. The rally though is again, this is not just my estimation. This rally, okay, right now is minimal versus what it should be and what the marketplace anticipated. Okay. If the marketplace is supposed to move $50, who am I to stand in its way? Move $50. Okay. When you don't even hit one standard deviation, and I know some people are looking for like zero DTE trades. Okay. And that's fine. You should look for zero DTE trades. Okay, but when you're looking at this and you're looking for a zero DTE, if this is the marketplace, okay, and you have this, standard deviation of plus 50, okay, I can't write with this thing. Just give me this damn pen, okay. You have the standard deviation of plus 50, okay, or minus 50, all right, and that's your expected move, okay, and that's the daily. I can't write. By the way, sometimes when I write, like I see it afterwards, it's get me out, man. This is the daily expected move, right? So I wouldn't want to take a position when we're here, and that's where we are right now. It's right up here, like we're plus 37 or plus 38. Okay, you got 12 more dollars just to hit like a one standard deviation move, and you're like, well, what if we reverse though right now? It is what it is. Okay, and I'm telling you right now, okay, even if we go up 50, there'll be some reversals today. How am I so sure? Because I'm so sure because there was high degrees of correlation this morning. Market's going to move much more as a unit, right? Speaking of a unit, you're already seeing a degree of reversal inside of the financials. Pretty significant in the last 5-6 minutes. Everybody saw that one, right? You saw it. Okay, that's actually fierce. Is it enough to actually cool the markets? People, if the financials reversing, it is going to cool the markets. There's no question about it. Okay, well, that was news. It was news. Okay. Was there news expected right now? No. Somebody got tweeted on. Don't look at the AD line. It's not worthwhile. We're a unit right now. Okay. Yeah, here comes some sell side activity though. Again, as I said, two-sided trade. And if I missed a zero DTE trade in here, so be it. Okay. The setup's not there. I won't take the trade. And I always hear Blake saying that he's like, I'd rather miss the trade than take a really, really bad trade, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Again, I'm totally, in that park where I'd rather just, forego, especially on an intraday basis. Oh, yeah. US President Trump considering allowing a major lawsuit against Powell. The construction of the Fed buildings. How does that actually cause the marketplace to sell off? Again, how do you have a lawsuit for somebody building a building? You bad animal. You built a really, really nice building with taxpayer money, but the Fed isn't supposed to be. They're an independent agency. Okay. How the hell can you sue a Fed chair? There's the conflicts of interest over here. I have to tell you though, the thing that I've been most bothered by, okay, really is that 15% tariff, okay, or whatever the hell you want to call it, in NVIDIA. It's weird, okay? So why wouldn't you just charge China? If you want these chips, you pay 15% more. I'm very confused about the situation, okay? And I'm just very confused about it. All right. By the way, didn't the building start? Oh yeah, I know it. It would have been his first. Powell's been there forever, by the way, right now, because he was Trump's first term. Okay, so he was actually elected in like what 2000, elected whatever the hell was appointed. Okay, he was appointed maybe what in 2017. So he's been there Trump's first term, all through the Biden administration, and now into Trump's second term. So he'll have a total of about 8 years when he's all said and done. Okay, it's good stuff. Good stuff over there. Yeah, I really I like the whole Fed thing. Exciting. Okay, it's exciting. Sue the Fed. Sue the Fed over the building. Okay, I was waiting for the lawsuit. You should have lowered interest rates. You were late to that one. How about they sue him over the fact that He was transitory. You would think he has more to do than to worry about the damn building. How much does the Fed chairperson really have to do, okay, with construction, okay, of a building? They need large basements to put money. I don't really know why, because they don't really have any actual money. They need like one computer with like a couple of like zeros on it, and they just keep hitting it. I would have to assume that the zero button on their keyboard would wear out often. They might need a replacement for that. Why the hell do they even need a building? By the way, I was shocked to find out how many people work at the Fed. Absolutely freaking shocked. If you guys have never seen the numbers, I want to say it was something close to, and I apologize. It has been months since I've looked at that. I want to say it was something like 28,000 people. Okay. Close to 30,000 people work at the Fed. Please check me on that one because it came out when everybody was getting fired. That's it for the S&Ps. They're going to reverse today. So chicken's done, people. The chicken's done. The volatility just took off to the upside in the last minute. So you are going to see, as I said, some two-sided trade here. Things are going to get a little bit heated now. Yeah, did anybody check that one? Okay, I'm looking it up. I am looking it up. Come on, GPT-5. Uh, there's nothing to know. The VIX trade, leave it alone. Okay, leave the VIX trade alone. Uh, the 2020 was almost 23,000 people. Okay, with 2,843 at the board. Okay, and 19,753 across reserve banks. Okay, that's amazing. 24,000 people. I was close. That was actually in 20. Yeah, that was in 2023, the last one. Okay. What the hell do they need 24,000 people? And I'm serious about that one. I'm all for it. You want to sue about something? Okay, sue about why you have 24,000 people. How many economists do you actually need to be wrong? How many economists? Okay, I only need one, and he's on vacation right now. His name's Jeff Bierman. Oh, I'm supposed to be nice to Jeff when he's gone. Okay, I got Jeff Bierman. He could be just as wrong as like the Fed. The irony is Bierman has probably been way more on it than the entire Fed and their entire 24,000 staff. Okay. All right. By the way, let the reversal happen. Just let it happen. We missed it. We didn't trade it. It's okay because we never hit the $50, but it's actually opening things up a little bit. Okay, let's go to the SPX. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's go to the SPX. I'm actually working an order inside of the SPX right now. Look at that. You see that line right there? That is massively unchanged in the week. We have a $90 expected move. Okay, I wanted to do this yesterday, but screw it, I'm going to do it right now. We have a $90 expected move. The actual lower edge of the expected move hits 6,300 on the button. I'll explain this in a minute. I was working a fly. Work it. Oh man, that's a big fly. I was close to filling this morning. If I could fill at 55 cents, I would take this, but just let it happen. Let the market do its thing. I'll work it at 55 cents, but I don't think I'm going to fill. Okay. I don't think I'm going to fill. Let's see if I can create a duplicate order. I'll make a $15 wide fly. Okay. Who doesn't? I like me a $20 wide fly, but who doesn't like a $15 wide fly? I'm having issues this morning. All the caffeine in the world can't bring Dawn back. Okay. What happened? Okay. It's killing independent Dawn. All right. Just working a few orders here. I take this 35 cents. Come on. Somebody fill me. Do something. Hmm. Interesting. By the way, it says a lot. It says a lot when I'm trying to route a butterfly. Okay. And this one, I'll pay as much as 45 cents for it. This will fill. There we go. So I didn't want to pay that much, but I'll pay that much because 45 cents for a $15 wide fly ain't half bad. It says a lot, okay, when you're trying to buy a butterfly and you can't necessarily fill. By the way, I'm going to put that one in there. Okay. You never trade an AM. Never have to trade an AM. It's always going to be PM. All right. I'll put that in the chat room, and we'll label it too. And the markets are going to bounce a little bit, and you guys are probably going to get much better fills. And by the way, I'm showing you in my screen here. I'm also working the $20 wide for 55 cents. I'm just seeing if I can fill it. We might, by the way, I have no problem saying this. We might bounce. We might rip. Okay. But I didn't want to miss this one if we were going to reverse today. Like it's kind of in the notes over there. Yeah. In my notes here, I was initially trying to fill a $20 wide butterfly. And I wanted to fill it. And again, by the way, I'm not 100% convinced, this is going to be an easy reversal. So what I mean by that is we come up, we sell side, some buy side. I think that this thing could resolve a little bit lower. Specifically, it's the NASDAQ that actually just took a real beating. We saw it initially inside of the financials. The financials stabilized. NVIDIA actually pulled back. Amazon pulled back a little bit. Look at Amazon, okay, in a short period of time. That's real, people. That's a $4 move in a matter of a few moments. Tesla, okay, which was higher today, took a pretty dramatic hit as well. So all of a sudden, just across the board, okay, it was things were getting whacked. Sorry, I over zoomed on Meta. Meta, okay, completely kind of stalled out. If Meta comes down, the NASDAQ is negative on the day, right? What do you got? You think you got Microsoft? You ain't got crap. It's only up 0.5%. Microsoft will actually follow suit. Meta, that's worth watching right now because that was your NASDAQ this morning, continues to be your NASDAQ, okay? And that's the only thing that's actually holding the NASDAQ together in here. I'm kind of curious as to why Boeing is going higher, okay? Go Boeing. But everybody, okay, everybody should be watching and working in Boeing too. We'll talk a little bit more about that. By the way, in the SPX, the butterfly that I was just doing, we'll send that one out. Okay, we'll send out the butterfly. However, everybody can fill on that one. The S&Ps have bounced already. Okay, no problem. I just didn't want to miss that trade. In fact, I filled the trade right in this neighborhood here. The S&Ps were between 16 and 20, up to between 16 and 20 when I was filling. They're a little higher right now. Okay, scary couple of moments inside of the S&Ps, but we're holding it together. Speaking of a scary couple of moments, the calendar for the remainder of the day. Okay, there's really not much else on the docket for today. Bear with me here. There's not that much on the docket for today. Tomorrow, if you're kind of curious about what tomorrow looks like, you got nothing. Okay, even into Thursday. So even into Thursday, some jobless claims, PPI. It's pretty, nominal until you start to get to into Friday. Not a lot of data points. The reason that I'm bringing that up and not a lot of data points, okay, if the marketplace were to reverse today, there's not a lot of catalysts to kind of turn it around. And knowing that is why I just placed the SPX, okay, fly in there. So, and what I mean by that is, okay, if we start seeing some sell side activity, there's not a lot of catalysts. I mean, look, the China thing is already done. There's nothing really ahead of us. Okay, Washington, by the way, should be relatively quiet. They're never quiet, but they should be relatively quiet this week because they're preparing for the trip to Alaska. Seriously, so if we start selling off, there's a really good chance, okay, this week, in my opinion, that we hit 6,300. I don't know if we hit 6,300 on a Thursday or Friday. That's where you really want it, but I felt that trade was more, okay, than worthwhile at the price. So that's the SPX butterfly trading for 45 cents. And I'm even going to work one at like 40 cents in here. Look at that, filled 40 cents. Okay, I just wanted you to know because we rallied up a little bit, things kind of mellowed out. All right, let's let's continue on. Let's go. Okay. Why do I have to send it? I already put the trade in here. Okay. I don't have to send it out. Okay. It's in here. Everybody should have it, right? Yeah. Everybody good? All right. Some people are filling at 35 cents. Okay. I mean, that's a really cheap fly. And you have to realize something about this. And I just want to make this statement again and again because we always have newer people that come into the chat room and they're out there and they're like, you know, trading these butterflies or so forth. And by the way, like literally, okay, the trade is in here. So when I say the trade's in here, is you scroll back up, all you have to do is just take this trade. If you're on Thinkorswim, you can highlight it, copy it, watch. So I copied the trade, come over to here. Okay, scrolling. Okay, all you have to do is come into your order entry bar. See right there. Okay, paste it from the clipboard. Now it does that into Thinkorswim. It does not do that into Tasty. You naughty Tasty. Okay, it doesn't do that into Tasty, but it does it into Thinkorswim. So onward and upward. Right? Look at that. Boy, I'm going to tell you right now, this could get downright freaking hostile today. Why? You realize the NASDAQ, okay? The NASDAQ right now is massively unchanged, okay? There's real selling going on in NVIDIA. There's real selling going on in Tesla, which, by the way, I'm kind of pissed about Tesla because we were actually going to trade ARK against that. There's real selling going on inside of Amazon, okay? Meta's up 15 bucks and just dangling off of a cliff right now. Meta starts to go for it. The NASDAQ could easily be down 100, 150 in a matter of minutes. This is actually completely different trade than you saw this morning. So the ticks are coming off and the advanced decline line, you're going to look at the advanced decline line. Like, oh, it's not really coming off. That's because we're still positive on the day. Okay. We're going to move as a unit. Instead that we're going to move as a unit. So the sell side activity hits like Meta, you're going to feel it throughout the entire marketplace. It's good stuff. Okay. So what about bonds? So yeah, we are definitely going to be talking about bonds. Before I get to bonds, I do want to talk a little bit about VIX. So I have a trade in VIX. It's got 7 days left to live. Okay. I saw somebody post about like it's a double diagonal. It's this, is that. It's not a double diagonal. Okay. Not a double diagonal. It's a sell of a put spread to buy a call spread. I call it, okay, I call it a VIX volatility trade. So I have a VIX vol spread on. And if you see like a bunch of crap in here, please don't let that confuse you. The position is, I have a bunch of crap because I have a lot of positions in VIX. All right. There goes, by the way, NASDAQ's gone. Okay. And it's gone. Why? Look at Meta. As I said, minutes away from Meta breaking. Okay. The second that Meta actually broke, okay, it was over for the NASDAQ. You can see the NASDAQ right now. The door is wide open to the downside. Back to VIX. So things getting a lot more interesting here on this morning's trade. This is in, the intensity level of trade just picked up, like tenfold in the last couple of moments. And you're not even negative. It's because you just don't, you got to realize it's just trade is going to be left to itself for probably most of the remainder of the week. I am well aware that the administration could always tweet at me. Okay. Don't you tweet at me. But barring anything, wild, unforeseen out there. Okay. Look, you already know that you're likely to get a rate cut. Don't take my word for that. Okay. The rate cut idea, it's pretty much baked in over here. By the way, I'm going to refresh this. Come on, refresh the tool. Okay. You have a 94% chance of a rate cut now for the September meeting. So that's the September 17th meeting, 94% chance of a rate cut. Yay, golf clap. Okay, golf clap. So I'll come back to even VIX later because we'll see if it pops. Anyway, I'm going on to bonds. I'll come back to VIX. Do apologize. The interesting thing right now is you're actually seeing a little bit of sell side activity in the bond market. Sell side activity in the bond market, how could that possibly be? We're expecting a rate cut, which brings me, of course, to the TNX. This is the 10-year. The 10-year has gone from about 4.2% to 4.3%. You got to remember, the key threshold in here is about 4.5%. What is not to me unusual, but I think a lot of people kind of freak out about this a little bit. The CPI data comes out, and CPI, it's like, look, I know people want to call it like soft, okay? So CPI is still rising 0.2% month over month, which means that is inflation still technically with us? Well, yeah, as long as, and by the way, that's not really like up for debate, right? Okay, would inflation's it's 0.2% month over month. So there's still inflation to the tune of 0.2% month over month. But month over month, of course, is going to be a little variable. But the year over year, okay, fell to 2.7%. But 2.7% is still a hell of a lot higher than the Fed is looking for by, a huge magnitude, which is roughly speaking 2%. So yeah, this one bothers me. It just bothers me. I'm very bothered by the whole situation, okay? Because you still almost have 3% in here, and it's still technically increasing. But we gotta lower interest rates over there. I don't understand why they didn't raise them a little higher, rip the band-aid off quickly, stop this crap, and then bring them back down. Nevertheless, okay, the market right now has got a bid under interest rates. And that's the catch 22 here is if you look at the 5-year, its interest rate is higher today. If you look at the 10-year, its interest rate is higher today. Not by a massive margin, 0.3%. But I mean, look, people, these things are moving. So now the question is with the bond market has just kind of been oscillating, back and forth last couple of months. No new highs, really no new lows. Okay. Is it going to come back down though and test into that 111? Comes back down even here to like 111. I think that is a critical tell. Okay. This right in this neighborhood here, testing like that 111 half would be huge for this marketplace. Okay. And probably one of the more opportunistic like trade setups that you'll see almost in like modern history. And I say that because these bonds, they could have the ability to have a really big sell-off, okay? But there's going to be a floor in that bond market, unequivocally, okay? The question is, though, are people going to start coming in and talking about like being a bond vigilante again? That whole rhetoric. Speaking of bond vigilante, take a look at the rally back right now inside of financials. It's just getting wild out there. I mean, you may not think so, but the S&Ps, they're all over the place. The NASDAQ, okay, which was just hideously negative, okay, is literally, okay, that's the dynamic of the move. Are we expecting another leg lower? We'll see, okay, we'll see. This is, again, the trade is pretty intense versus what it has been, and the contract size speaks volumes as well. And there's some big hits being taken across the board here in a few tech stocks. This is enough though to where, like, I know you guys see the NASDAQ rallying back. NASDAQ ain't rallying back unless NVIDIA plays a role. Okay. NVIDIA and Tesla are both down approximately 1%. They'd have to play a role. Amazon right now is down 1%, and Amazon swing and a miss. Amazon is actually at lows of the trading session. So again, a lot going on an intraday basis. What's actually sustaining the S&Ps right now, crazy enough, there's a 1% move up in the financials. They're at highs of the session. Okay. I got more questions on that one than answers, other than the fact that maybe interest rates are rising a little bit. So let's come back over to the VIX. So I'll spend a minute or two on the VIX and we'll kind of continue on that front. Okay. Trade on the VIX has 7 days left. There's no real management for this trade. Okay. I don't think you guys should extend more risk. Somebody was asking about, hey, should we buy this back? Let me open up a few more strikes in here. Somebody was talking about like, hey, those 32s over there, should I buy back the 32s? Why? To leave yourself like open-ended upside for the next 7 days. Like, I don't think the VIX is going to 32 in the next 7 days, but whatever. Okay, it's fine. Just leave the trade alone. I sold an 18.5 and bought the 16. The only thing you person should care about. Okay. Oh, look at that. Bought another one. So oh, I bought the $20 wide too. I got flies. Okay. I got flies everywhere. So best $150 I ever spent. Oh man, we're ripping now. Okay. Don't do it to me. We were gonna have a down day. All right. It's yeah, it's brutal. By the way, that's why I didn't execute on an intraday basis here. We were there. I could have been somebody. Back to the VIX because this one's actually important. In the VIX world, VIX is a cash settled product. So there is no underlying. So you don't have to worry about there is no early exercise or assignment. But the one aspect that's weird is that the last day to trade VIX, is next Tuesday. So next Tuesday is the 19th. You're like, but no, it expires on the 20th. I am aware, but it's an AM set. Okay. An AM set means that it goes off of an AM settlement. It's not an opening print. Okay. It goes off of an AM settlement. Okay. On Wednesday morning, August 20th. Like, okay. Yeah. Okay. Nevertheless, what we are doing in here is you sit tight. I could lose as much as $2.50. I can lose as much as 256 because I sold the 18.5 16 put spread. Barring though, like, look, all the VIX has to do is pick up a little bit. Can the VIX get above 18? Of course it could, right? It's a little hop, skip, and a jump. You just need one day of selling. Can I get one freaking day of selling? The answer is probably no, but today is actually critically important. There's no question like today is important. How do I know today is important? Because this spread is still only trading for $2. Now, this spread is deep in the money, right? It's deep in the money, but it's only trading for $2. And the reason it's trading for $2 is the market's basically saying there's still a chance that, you're saying there's a chance, it's still a pretty good chance, if you will, that we do rally up in VIX. But you don't have any control of that. And I want to make that, abundantly clear. You don't have control. Okay. Market has control. All you basically do is a defined risk trade on. So you sit tight. Okay. Sit tight and relax a little bit on there. And the call spread side of it, just leave it alone. Like, let's say that the VIX flew on Tuesday, like next Tuesday, a week from today. The VIX explodes higher. And a lot can happen between now and then. I mean, like, look, you got the United States meeting Russia, in Alaska. What could possibly go wrong? Probably nothing. Probably there's going to be a lot of hugging. Okay, what's the market on a hug? Huh? Does Trump actually hug? Is he a hugger? Is he a hugger? Okay, is he a hugger? I think he was only a hugger with Elon. No. All right, a non-hugger. Anyway, continuing. What's the market on him hugging Putin? That's what I was going to ask. Okay, is there actually a market on that? There's a market on everything right now. There literally is. That poly market, that's the most amusing thing ever. Okay. What I don't like is sometimes they have markets on stuff that can be like influenced. I'm like, hey, wait a second. I could actually, I could influence this one. So I should bet $5,000 max. The $5,000 will pay out like 50 grand. I might end up in jail, but that would be fun. Okay. That would be fun. Come on, hugger or non-hugger. Okay. He's a hugger. He's a hugger. Okay. One man can hug another man, especially when it's Putin. All right, continuing on. Okay. So if the call spread were to pay out, like let's say there was this huge spike in the VIX, like Monday, Tuesday, next week, because some crap happened over the weekend. Okay. You would just get paid out. It wouldn't matter. You don't have to close the trade. Now, I want you to know that you don't have to close the trade. Okay. That's like one of the most important things is, if I've got a trade on, it is what it is if you have the same trade on. And I'm not really gonna, like, oh, there's a closing strategy, no, the strategy is like you're gonna risk 250 because I bought, and I want to be clear, I bought that's the other one, but I bought in the original trade the 22.32. I bought a $10 wide spread and financed it by selling a 250 wide put spread. So the most you can lose in a 250 wide put spread is 250, which, that's our risk in there. Okay. So there's no assignment. There's no risk of assignment. Continuing on, it appears that my EEM trade is going to die a horrible death. Okay. Come on, help me out a little bit. They sustained, and I knew this would happen, and so did you, but they took the 90-day, on China and they pushed it out another 90 days. Oh, I'm so shocked. Okay. So it literally is Taco Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. Okay. Which, by the way, I stand corrected. Taco Tuesday, according to my mom, was never at Taco Bell, that it was actually Jack in the Box used to offer Taco Tuesday when we were kids. And it was Jack in the Box tacos, which were like greasy little suckers. Yeah. It's Taco Tuesday. It was like 2 for 1, like tacos at Taco Tuesday. Okay. I don't exactly remember why we were able to eat that crap, but at least it was food then. I don't know what the hell it is now. It's Taco Tuesday. These are the conversations I have, with my parents on the phone. I'm like, when we were kids and we had Taco Tuesday, was that Taco Bell? Okay, or was it like Jack in the Box? I found out it was definitely Jack in the Box, which I don't even think that Jack in the Box should probably have tacos, but it's all right. By the way, there was a time when I was a kid. What people? You're not talking about Taco Tuesday. Okay, what the hell's going on in here? Stop talking about trading. Start talking about Taco Tuesday. When I was a kid, there's a McDonald's in Tucson, Arizona. If anybody here lives in Tucson, Arizona, you'll know the McDonald's. There's a McDonald's, okay, on the corner of Swan and Sunrise in Tucson. And I finished up high school in Tucson, and the McDonald's was an experimental McDonald's. So they used to do things like they had pizza at McDonald's, they had tacos at McDonald's. But my personal favorite as a kid, they had all you can eat McDonald's, and it was like $5, $5 or $6, like all you can eat, and it was awesome. I'm still a kid. Okay, it's all right. You and my 12-year-old actually agree on that one. He's like you're a giant man child. Okay, my 12-year-old says that to me. Whatever. Okay, I still outweigh him by a good 100 pounds. So I got that handled. I got that one handled. Look at this. The Nasdaq's coming ripping back. All right. As long as Nvidia doesn't continue down, Meta, okay, got a little bit of a bid back under it. Oh, come on. We were there, people. It was reversing. Oh, we're going to be up 50, and then I'm going to have to take the shot. By the way, we might actually get another shot at an intraday trade. We might get another shot at an intraday trade. I would suggest to you the bonds breaking lower. These bonds look like they're going to go for it to the downside. And if they do, which they are right now, it might break the S&Ps late in the day. Like, look at the financials. The financials are leading the pack right now. Okay, it's very strange tape. You have financials and energy, which no one has wanted to touch this crap for weeks. Like, look, I'm not making that up. No one has wanted to touch. Have you seen the financials? Okay, like this is garbage. No one wants to look at the move off of there. I know it's interest rates. Interest rates aren't going higher; they're going lower. That's supposed to hurt the financials. Dogs and cats living together. Okay, energy. I can understand a bid in energy, but nobody's wanted to touch this also for weeks. Crazy. Okay. I don't eat. Okay, I don't eat McDonald's no more. I'll eat In-N-Out Burger though. I will admit to that. I'll only eat though, like the In-N-Out Burger. The only one I want to go to now is 2 hours away from me. It's totally worth the drive. I'm gonna go there this weekend. I'm literally gonna go drive 2 hours to go to In-N-Out Burger. I'm not driving 2 hours to go to In-N-Out Burger, but I am driving 2 hours and I will go to In-N-Out Burger. I'm getting out of the heat. I'm going to Flagstaff. Okay. So I'm a mountain man. I got to grow the beard out. Okay. There's no shaving allowed here. There's none. It's not even November. I'm just, you go up to the mountains, you can't shave. It's good. Um, yeah, White Castle, yuck. Yeah, White Castle is like a Midwest kind of thing. I didn't grow up with that crap. I did not grow up with that crap. So I grew up partially in New York, where you never really ate much fast food, other than obviously Jack in the Box. We didn't eat much fast food though in New York because every pizza place was that freaking good. Like, why would anybody eat fast food? Pizza places were awesome. So it was good. Like the worst place we would ever go was probably Ground Round, which like in the 70s and 80s was pretty good. Ground Round, you like throw peanuts at people? Yeah, okay. Oh, the Chinese food there is good too. Yeah, clearly I have not eaten yet today. Onward. Okay. Chinese food here is really good. Okay. White Castle at 2 a.m. That can happen to anybody. It can. So we have something here in Phoenix, okay, called Los Betos. And Betos is where you go at 2 o'clock in the morning, which is a burrito the size of like a chihuahua. And quite frankly, it could be a chihuahua or chupacabra. It's probably the latter of those two. Hmm. If you have any idea what that is. All right. So by the way, let's go over to Intel for a second. I did have an itinerary today. We're deviating. Okay. We're deviating a little bit. Intel, strong bid in the last 2 days. Okay. Look, I have no idea what the hell is going on over there in the administration. I really don't. I don't think they do either. Okay. But apparently, Intel, the guy that was like, evil, he must be fired. And now we're actually breaking to the upside of the expected move. I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit confused on that front. All right. Um, yes, check in the box grease tacos. Okay. Anyway, there's there's a huge bid back into Intel. And when I say a bid, I don't mean to the underlying in this case. There's a huge bit of support, I should say, to the Intel CEO. Apparently, he is going to stay. That's again, it is what it is. Complete turnaround over here. But hey, at least they've worked it out, and there was an admission. There was wrongfully accused possibly on there. So are we still seriously? Are we talking about the Chihuahua still? Okay, it's a burrito the size of a Chihuahua. I kid you not. I have pictures of them. It's absolutely huge. The burrito, I bet you, weighs more than the Chihuahua does. All right. Anyway, the Intel trade right now, like I was talking about getting long in here the other day, but one thing that really bothered me was the implied volatility. It's interesting. The implied volatility picked up and is now getting crushed back down. Quite frankly, let the stock run. Okay, let the stock run. There may actually be an opportunity here, even on the short side coming. So it hit the expected move. It's breaching the expected move. Let's let it fly. And let's let fly right now. I'm going to stay away from Intel for a few more days. This is not by any stretch of the imagination a trade that I feel that I missed. Okay. This is kind of chaos that I don't think anybody really could have or should try to kind of predict in there. Nobody knew that was coming. Tesla. Okay. Tesla breached the expected move. We talked about this yesterday. Hit it again yesterday. It's completely reversed. There's nothing I can do. I missed that one. I'm upset about that one too because I didn't want to execute the trade. Okay. And I was going to execute the trade in ARK. I didn't want to execute the trade in ARK till we hit the upper edge of the expected move. And it doesn't look like we're actually going to, doesn't look like we're going to get there. We'll see what actually plays in the days to come. Again, that's just happened today. Like Tesla actually opened 345 today, and Tesla at 345. I mean, it opened on the upper edge of the expected move. It was just perfect to short. Okay, and it's already collapsed by basically $10 from the cash open. Meanwhile, Meta on an intraday basis okay, is flying. It's hitting the upper edge of the expected move. This is also 2 consecutive weeks. I am not, okay, I don't want to make this very clear. I am not shorting Meta right now. It is at all-time highs. It is squeezing right now as well. So this is breakout kind of territory. It's at an all-time high, okay? And the activity in here is massive call buying. That's it. So it's good stuff, okay? Anyway, so I tried to take the trade in Tesla, but I tried to take it in ARK. Now ARK, okay, ARK has already reversed. As I say that, you're like, no, the stock's still up. It is up, but it's reversed. Like I wanted ARK closer to that upper edge of the expected move to try to, take that trade. There's another one I was actually looking at earlier too, is Morgan Stanley. So Morgan Stanley, well, here we go. Morgan Stanley, oh, this is a frustrating one, is literally hitting an all-time high. Okay. I think it has a little bit more room to run. This one, though, I think could be an opportunity on the short side. It breached its expected move last week. It's breaching it this week. Okay. It's 2 weeks in a row, kind of fits the criteria. What I'm bothered by in Morgan Stanley, and I'm just going to open up a 5-year, okay, it is at an all-time high. And it at times, the first time we hit that all-time high, it can be futility to try to short into it. This is not call buying on activity. This is, not huge volume in here. And again, there's only 5,000 contracts that have traded, but I will look, okay, to short Morgan Stanley. Not yet. It's going to stay like, there's a couple stocks like on the radar screen. I call it shopping ARK, Tesla, Morgan Stanley, eBay. All right, I'm shopping eBay as well. I wanted to bring this one up. I put this in its own category. Okay, eBay has ripped from from its earnings announcement. You're on a tear right now. Okay, that is this is one for the books here. Okay, I don't count this week as breaching the expected move. I don't count it because it's an earnings announcement. But I want you to look. Breached the expected move, hit the upper edge, breached, okay? Week in and week out, eBay has been an absolute animal to the upside. This is going to be really advantageous to short, okay? eBay is not on a lot of people's radar screen, okay? The option statistics, okay, it's pretty minuscule. Like there's not a lot of depth and a lot of volume, okay? However, I'm saying that if you look out, okay, at both weeklies and monthlies, okay, the open interest in here it's not bad. Like it's completely like on the cusp, but you can definitely trade this one. I'm not sure we can do a trade in like an in-out spread for everybody, but I will look and price this as the open interest a month out, 38 days out, I should say. The open interest 38 days out can support us. There is 4,000 contracts here. There's 2,000 contracts here. So I'm just going to be honest though with you. If I trade eBay, it's going to make some waves. Okay, like we're going to move the stock around a little bit if I trade this one, meaning that when I route the order, it's going to bat the stock around a little bit. So just be aware of just that. Anyway, so I'm shopping a bunch of trades right now, but I need to literally let this day kind of play out. Like if I'm going to execute today, I will execute. It'll be late in the day. Like nothing else to really cover in here, like Boeing. Okay, I'm actually really confused by Boeing. This thing's got a bid back under it after yesterday's sell side activity. I'm confused by it. It's just kind of oscillating back and forth. But our trade is right back. If you wanted this trade, it's still there. Boeing trade is still absolutely there. You got 31 days. If I'm going to be able to close like Boeing out, okay, profitably in the first 3 days, I would need that to happen. Okay, and I would need it to happen, today or tomorrow. Boeing was placed on Friday. I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to close for 30%. Speaking of 30%, coming to the end of my time over here. The only thing I was able to get on today is a butterfly. We rallied, we've sold off, we've laughed, we've cried. The financials, okay, are like the greatest sector ever. Okay, look at this. This is, if anything, okay, I'm going to give you one take, and this is just going to throw it out there right now. What I'm going to give you here, this is a bit of a bearish take. And the reason it's a bearish take is, look, we're buying something that nobody's wanted to touch. Maybe everybody's like, oh, we forgot about the financials, man. But you're seeing a rotation of the financials. It's big rotation into the financials, really big. You're seeing a rotation into the energy sector. It's another one. It's over, 1%. These are sectors. Okay. And yet nobody really wants to buy anything else other than maybe Meta. And the only reason that Meta is being bought is because it breached into new highs. I'm kind of pissed at myself for not being on the bullish side of this trade. Literally, I'm pissed at myself because being on the bullish side of this one makes sense. This is the kind of thing I look for a breakout to the upside. So I'll leave that one alone. But the rotation right now is clearly towards crap. Like no one's wanted to buy XLF. Okay. I'm just curious. I haven't looked at XLU today. Well, this one's actually trading a little bit down. Bottom of my screen, I have a lot of the ETFs. Okay. Yeah, there's even a bid. There's even a bid under healthcare. Nobody's even thought of touching healthcare. Nobody even thought of that. Look at this. Okay. We're buying home builders. Now, buying home builders, like that makes sense. They're going to lower interest rates. They're not going to lower interest rates because the interest rate is going where? It's going higher. Just throwing that one out for you. Okay. For your consumption. Okay. Wild tape today. Really is like a wild tape today. I just want to look at Lulu. Okay. Lows and new lows. So, in kind of summation over here, so I do have to bring on Gianni in a moment. NASDAQ is absolutely all over the place. S&Ps look a lot like it too. So it is a tape that, just hear me out on this. It's fast, okay? Trade is all over the place this morning. We're actually trading in a decent range, okay? We traded literally right to the 64.11, okay? We've bid multiple times into 64.40. I mean, you're looking at 30-point ranges where you're up, 30, 35 handles. We completely sell off. We rallied again. We look like we could sell back off in here. There's a lot of two-sided trade. That is the one thing I started with this morning is there's going to be two-sided trade. We're buying financials, okay? I take buying financials as a little bit more bearish. And the reason my take is bearish is because if we're buying financials, we may start rotating out of some of the tech stocks. Gianna DePoche. How you doing,
What's
man?
going on?
I don't know. How much longer are you overseas?
Quite a bit. I'm here until September 4th.
Holy crap. Right? Oh, your kids are not like in school yet, are they?
No, they're not.
Yeah, it's gonna suck when they do, you know?
I'll
So
send
I
them
have,
back. I'll stay here.
yeah, no, I have one that started school last week. I have one that's starting school like in the next few minutes, and then another one that starts school. It's like staggered starts. It sucks.
No.
Okay, it sucks. We have to go. We have to come back. Can't go anywhere. Can't even be on the island.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I just want to get out of here, man. It's 107 degrees every day. Just get me out of here. So send help because you have to be completely mental to live in a place that it actually hit like 116, 117 the other day.
Wow.
That's hot.
Yeah, we
That's
got about to like 98, 99 yesterday, so it was hot. But there's some humidity here too, so you really feel it like that.
how close are you to the coast?
About like hour.
Hmm,
But
that's
we're in
too
a
far.
valley, so like the heat sits, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's too far. That's
Yeah.
too far. Yeah, good crops and stuff growing around you.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's very, very lush. Olive trees, fig trees, all that good stuff.
Man, yeah, those that's good stuff right there too. Because everybody always talks about that. I like it. I know you are a part-time farmer, so
Yes.
yeah, his part-time farmer. When the ground in Detroit is not completely frozen.
Which is right now. It's but you know what's pretty cool, Don, is I actually I water my garden from my phone. So even though I'm over here, I have an app that just turns on my sprinklers.
How do you keep the animals from going into the garden though?
I got a deer fence, 8 feet high.
Oh, that's actually just go down to the ground too. They can dig under. The moles are
Yeah,
coming
well,
under
so I
there.
actually I have chicken wire at the bottom and then the deer fence on the top. So
Oh man, it's hard to stop
it's
that.
war, man. It's war.
I know it. I know it. I don't really have any crops here. I'm in the
But you have
dirt.
iguanas, but not
Yeah.
that's on the island.
No, I'm in that's island. If I see
Yeah,
an iguana here, it's not an iguana. Here it would be a Gila monster, which is actually quite dangerous.
yeah.
All right, I got to turn it over to you. I'm gonna run right now. If anything, what are you looking at this morning?
You know, a couple Chinese names seeing a nice pop. One of the names we got in the $1 million challenge portfolio just got through earnings up around like 8, 9%. So got my eye on China. Last time the Fed started cutting rates, last September, you saw a big pop in the Chinese market. So I'm eyeing up some Chinese names here to see if we get a little bit of a ridiculous rally over there too.
Yeah, my thing today is I'm looking at the broader marketplace. There's like a change of pace. I mean, I see that the S&Ps are up, 0.5%, the Nasdaq's up 0.5%, but again, there's some fairly wild rotations, and
Yeah.
right now it's the world according to Meta. Meta is
Yeah.
literally holding the entire marketplace together today. Without it, things would get rather dicey. And the irony is, it feels dicey out there today.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
Yeah.
totally different feel than it has been in recent trade. With that, I'll turn it over to you. You have it. You have got the ball. Uh,
Okay.